Yoink.
Ball save!
Did you come all this way for that busted-ass map, or are you just here to see me? Didn't know you were such a super. Oh, you missed the show? Oh, right. But you're all like, what's up with those bugs? Well, it's something I do. Check out the screen. So I offered the Sun Smashers a place in our family. They just wanted guns and cash. They betrayed the family. Oh, then try something great.
Gods don't.
Gods don't negotiate. I love it. Love it. Like I said, that map is super busted. Go ahead and take it. I'll swing by later. My loyal follower, Baldy.
I knew you'd find the map killer. Bring it back. And don't let it out of your sight. I lost it once. I won't lose it again.
Hey, Vaughn, I'm looking at a head in a jar. You know this person?
Ah, no way! That's my Deputy War Chief Vic! She's my best bronette! Grab that head! They must have been interrogating her in VR. You know, we used that same tech back in Hyperion when we caught a corporate spy? Or when someone's broccoli salad got stolen from the break room and I didn't have time to make more? Anyway, Vic's trapped in a virtual torture chamber. You gotta go in and get her out!
You want me to go into the head?
There should be a VR console by the gate to the HPC. Just hook her head up and your Echo device will digistruct you right into the VR construct. I'd go in there myself, but VR stuff totally squicks me out. No one's gonna take my body apart molecule by molecule without a fight. I'm an analog man! I gotta say, I'm surprised the COV are using VR tech, but, you know, then again, it's pretty cheap these days. I mean, people make entire worlds in there and just live in them. It's weird, though, you know? Most people just revisit worlds that were made, like, 7 years ago.
Vaughn, know anything about these COV statues?
Ugh, the children of the vault have been leaving these suck-butt COV statues all over the place. You know what? We're gonna stick it to those wannabe gods and make our own idols. In my image. Yeah, good idea. From chiseled jaw to legendary calves. First off, go find all my wanted
Who
posters.
said
P.S.
but?
I am very wanted. We're gonna pull this off. We're gonna need those pictures of me to feed into the 3D scanner thing. Then we can start printing out the statues that look like me instead. That'll really tick off the Calypsos. I didn't go from Hyperion accountant to bandit war chief just to follow orders again. But, you know, after I refused to join that stupid cult, Tyrene Calypso put a bounty on my sculpted ass. And the rest of me, too. But I'm still alive, baby! And I'm still shaking it, bro!
know, you'd figure with all these, like, professional YouTubers nowadays, they'd know how to use audio software that forces all audio to not go above a certain volume. You know? So you don't have random shit that just blows out in your video that's way louder than everything else. You know? Like, I understand if you're some random guy streaming and you can't afford a compressor, but when you're a fucking multi-million-dollar YouTube channel and you can't afford to have someone edit with proper sound editing, you're a fucking joke. I'm not going to name names right now, the one that specifically brought up this to me, because I've watched a lot of their stuff in the past, but honestly, the fucking... I can't even watch a lot of the fucking videos that I used to watch now because their audio is so horribly EQ'd. And it's like I'll be sitting there struggling to listen to something in the video, and then all of a sudden a sound effect or something will play and it will be like shock you into your fucking seat.
You're gonna have to try to find them so you can remind her who she is when she wakes up.
Memory fragment 1. What up, me? Our idiot-in-chief Vaughn finally made one good decision and made me the new deputy war chief of the Sun Smashers. He took a slap in time replacing deputy head chief after he belly flopped into a frickin' acid pit. And that dude knew how to party. Vaughn's alright, I guess, but he's no head chief.
Just feeding the birds. Step to the launch.
Memory fragment 2. Yo, me, check this out. We found this crazy alien thing in the desert today. We brought it back to camp thinking we could sell it to the children of the vault. Those idiots are always buying crazy alien stuff like that. We're gonna be slapping rich. Memory fragment 3. Get this, me. So I showed Vaughn the crazy alien thing and he got super weird. He told me to hide it. Ugh! The whole clan could eat bark and caviar for months if we sold it to the COB. Now, I look like the asshole because I have to tell the clan we're not selling it. Slap an idiot in chief! He doesn't know what's good for the clan. Memory fragment 4. It's go time, me! This mouthpiece idiot wants that alien thing, and Vaughn won't sell it. We must be the last clan on Pandora that hasn't joined up with the COV. The Sun Smashers need new leadership. You know who I'm talking about.
You get all the memories? Oh, I can't wait to hear them myself. You know, Vic and I are tight. Oh, it's so important. Go get my best bro net out of that simulation. Not today, Bob!
Oh yeah, I'm a digital professional psychiatrist. Don't worry about it. Better luck next life.
What a slapping nightmare. Thanks for getting me out of here.
Vic! You're alive!
I mean, technically. He's talking to me! Hey, Vaughn. Look, I'm a slapping idiot. The COV are messed up. We tried joining them and all they did was murder and torture us. In that order.
I'm afraid I'm gonna have to be pretty brutal with you right now, Vic. I'm gonna need you to give me 100 apology push-ups. When you're done, come join me. We got a new clan now. Go Crimson Raiders.
Crimson Raiders? Yeah, I can dig it. Hey, as long as you're doing the push-ups. Oh, hey. You saved my slapping life. Here. I nabbed this crazy gun while we were in that never-ending digital hell prison. You can have it. It's all yours.
Unspeakable horrors wasn't such a bad deal after all. Yeah, high five! Dude, not cool.
Oh. Sorry.
Can't believe they still left this on the fucking mat. It's actually irritating to me. The fact that they had a working version of whatever the fuck was in that room and then removed it and haven't added it back in 2 DLCs. I'm starting to get a little skeptical here of what content is actually going to end up being in the game. Because currently there's content in the game which isn't even finished. Fuck it. I'm not gonna waste all my money trying to do that.
Glad to have so
Delete
many
all
badasses
these
on our
goddamn talk to Lilith parts in the
Good luck
mission.
getting that map back. I don't go anywhere near.
Vault Hunter, you really got the map? Mission accomplished, Firehawk.
Just Lilith is fine.
I'm just seeing what I can get away with skipping. If it even skips anything. But, to be honest, I forget that the loading screens into the big maps in this game take 45 seconds to a minute.
I didn't think I'd ever see this thing again. It's not just a map, though. Use this to open the other vaults on Pandora. Every vault needs its key.
Well, let's take a look. Been a long time. It's not charged.
If you were on PC, though, you did that. You could speed up the time so much.
Damn, it's not working. It's wrong. I should be able to charge it. We need help. There's only one person on this planet who knows how this Iridian tech works. Trisha Tannis. She's got a dig site on the other side of the valley. Take the map to her. More silence. Why do we all end up on Pandora? I'll catch up when I can. Have to track down a few loose ends for our ship.
Oh yeah, that's right. I want my buggy. Actually, you know what?
think I can get through there now. Trampling my valuable and irreplaceable dig site. May I help you?
Are you Dennis?
I am. You must be Lilith's new vault hunter. You found the map. I suppose congratulations are in order. That was it. Well, let me take a look.
Sorry about that.
Complex and priceless alien artifact. You may wait outside and steal anything not nailed down. I need to use you as a sounding board for my hypotheses. Please do not confuse it for conversation. As I suspected, Tyrene Calypso is a siren. She seems to feed on the life force of others, and clearly her cult is her food source for now. The vaults hold unimaginable power, you know. I shudder to think of what might happen if the Calypso
When I played through this game the first time, I didn't think much of this loot area while waiting thing. But now I understand how lazily designed it is. To have a loot area while waiting, because the character takes this in, because they don't want you to watch her do anything. They don't want to have to program animations, so they just have her take the thing and then go back in the building so you can't see shit. Yeah, I should have figured that wouldn't be good, but I had to give it a couple shots. Wow, you really are invincible.
I am older than you know!
Jump and run!
Keep fighting, Vault Hunter!
All right, killer. Let's take the rest out together. Defend the map!
He was wasted in pace.
I'm not alone!
My chili recipe dies
Jackass.
with me!
Dennis, are you okay? No! We're all still here in my personal space, so let's get on with it. Tell me you got the map working. I did what I could, Lily. With my vast intellect and limited resources. Shall we give it a go? And I believe this should do it. Some data has been corrupted. It seems the map has sustained significant damage. Hypothesis: Tyrene Calypso attempted to charge the map, but the powers only drained it further. Unfortunately, I can only make out a single planet. Yeah? Of course! Typhon de Leon found the very first vault there, you know. Good work, Tannis.
So, destination Promethea?
Looks like it. We have to get to that vault before the Calypso. Ellie's been working on a ship. I'll take Tannis and the map there now. Meet you at the landing pad, Vault.
Oh, no, I have
Just trying to keep my Iridian experts safe.
you know another Iridian expert?
Ready? get that astronav chip. We're taking off.
untapped resource in the galaxy. There are billions of them across the Borderlands. Human wreckage left over from the corporate wars. They're broken, but we make them feel special. So they fight for us and die for us. Because they finally have a place where they belong. A family. My family. The universe is theirs. As long as they obey.
She's fueled.
Ready to go, killer?
Hunter.
Shove this thing! Here we go. Scrub.
I knew them COV sumbitches wouldn't let us leave Pandora without a fight. Well, they're gonna get it.
Why do half of the elevators in other parts of this game go 100 miles an hour?
I've got you. On your feet, Commander.
Thanks, Vault Hunter. I'll be all right. Let's get to the ship.
Vault Hunter, over here! You hold on to that ass snap shit for now, hun. Ugh, this is bad, but now ain't the time to talk it through, amigo. We gotta get the hell out of here, and that ship is the safest place I know. BH, get on the ship. We gotta get out of here before more of them COV some bitches attack.
It's so weird having the ability to skip cutscenes. But I think it's funny that they finally ended up putting cutscene skip in a game where everyone hates the fucking cutscenes anyways, so
Vault Hunter.
it's probably for the better. Like, there were a lot of cutscenes in the pre-sequel in Borderlands 2 I wouldn't skip, just because I like watching them. In this game, I think there's maybe 2 cutscenes that I actually like watching. And to be honest, I can't even remember where in the story they occur, so I'll probably end up skipping them anyways. I can't see how you could ever call the story in this game great. I don't. And I try to be like a pretty sensible, open-minded person about a lot of stuff like that, but
Siren powers. Need all the help.
for whatever reason,
Laptop.
there's no...
What intel do we have on Prometheus?
There's no excusing their bullshit. I'm sorry, writers for BL3. You sucked.
Have to convince them to help us find the vault before the eclipse.
You done fucked it up.
Look in that astronaut.
You done goofed. I think you already know that by now, considering that everyone's been shitting on the game's base story, and the only praise that this game has gotten story-wise has been from both the DLCs, and one of them arguably only has good story because it has voice actors that are notable in it. The second DLC, you could argue that the story is dog shit in it. The characters are alright. I love Wainwright and Hammerlock. They're both, I like the rich guy owning a company aesthetic sort of thing. I think that they chose a very good voice actor for Wainwright. There's not a single point where I feel like that person even remotely breaks that character. Whereas Gage's character is broken. It's not even a character anymore. It's a husk of a, I'm a loud girl, ha! And then she's like, oh, Death Trap, it's gonna die, he's gonna be destroyed. You built the motherfucking thing. You could easily just go, oh, this component is fried. Replace component. You're supposed to be a macro magician. Not a whiny ass bitch because your robot got the chance of dying. God, I hate that fucking part of that DLC. I'm gonna have to do it again because I reset my playthrough. And to be honest, I actually will enjoy doing it again because I can't wait to make fun of Gage for a second time. She was already the most annoying fucking character to play as in BL2. Bar none the most annoying character. I think Gage is like 10 times more annoying than Handsome Jack with the... I can't even remember what he says. He's like, oh yeah, we did it, oh guys, we did it. Or something like that.
I'll be fine.
Whenever the badass Jack spawns, I think. or kills an enemy or something like that. He always says that out loud. And some people always used to complain about that. But honestly, that's better than fucking Gage. Gage is bar none the most annoying fucking character. The sad part is when BL2 came out, people thought Krieg was annoying. The entitled shitlords on the internet are the reason why Krieg doesn't have his raving rants anymore with Raving Retribution. And the fact that you have to download a fucking mod to the game to add the voice lines which are already in the game back into the game, instead of, I don't know, being a motherfucking logical developer and maybe using an options menu for the fucking purpose of an options menu. Maybe add the option to turn Krieg's dialogue frequency down or off entirely. Wow. Options in an options menu in a video game. Wow. That's why whenever people bitch about Nioh 2 having too many options, I'm like, you'd bitch if there wasn't any options, and you'd bitch if there were too many options. You'd bitch just because you're the type of people to bitch about random bullshit like that in video games. You can't win with either side of it. You have people who look at Nioh and go, oh, it's just a bunch of menus. I don't like having to go through menus. I just want the game to me press circle, me loot giant circle, me not have to worry about what I pick up because me not need anything from environment. So everything just goes into my fucking character and all of the level design and placement of everything is almost null and fucking void. This is why I don't like Sekiro. Sekiro is the absolute most dumbed down version of an action RPG to the point where you can't even call it an RPG because it's not. It's just an action game with the ability to increase your health. That's it. Even DMC5 is more RPG. I say DMC5. Any of the fucking DMC games. Any of them. Are they better in quality? Sekiro is definitely a higher quality game, but what are you saying in terms of quality? Are you saying textures? Are you saying animations? Are you saying the game overall? Because if you're saying the game overall, then you have to draw back the game for certain elements of it that were intentionally dumbed down, environmentally speaking. The fucking press a button to loot all because people are too fucking impatient nowadays to spend an extra second looting an item. This is literally, I've seen 3 different people I've watched play Nioh 2. 3 different people separately complain that there isn't a loot all button. All because they can't just go tap, 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 tap. They're already going tap, 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 tap on the square button. They're mashing the attack button, but they can't mash the pick up items button. No, that wears me out. Well, you shouldn't be mashing the attack button for one. Second, you should be mashing the pick up loot button because you can probably pick it all up in less than 2 seconds if you're even a remotely fast masher. And it doesn't even take that long most of the time. Because the game runs at 60 frames a second, in theory, you could tap the button 6 times and pick up 6 items in less than a second. Can most people do that? No, but you absolutely could. And now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying a loot all option is a bad idea. I'm just saying whenever someone says it in relevance to Sekiro, I'm just like, you're an entitled modern gaming baby. You're just a fucking gaming baby. You're the type of person who couldn't go back and enjoy playing Diablo 2. If you can't deal with modern games that deal with loot like this. You're not gonna bulk pick up shit in a game like Diablo. Enjoy the fact that games nowadays just let you shove a bunch of shit into a magical inventory. that just infinitely fucking fills up, or has like, in the case of Fallout anyways, you can glitch it so that it can be infinite with a companion, but either way, it's absolute fucking nonsense. It's bullcockery. It's probably the dumbest thing in gaming right now, is the entitlement to loot picking up being an easy thing, and then loot management being as simple as, look at these green arrows. Fucking Destiny and all these modern versions of video games killed that. But subsequently, you also have people like that who play and say that classic WoW is great, even though it literally has all of the things that they say they hate about some of these modern games in them. Because that's where these games got those ideas from. You fucks. And now, don't get me wrong, you can have an opinion. I know that may sound foreign, but you can have an opinion and say that you just objectively like a game better. Or, sorry, not objectively. You subjectively like a game better. You can do that, regardless of if you're actually viewing it from how would you say that? Like a totalitarian or whatever? Some weird fucking word that probably isn't even used in regular vocabulary. I just mean as a person who views something as a whole. I never view any single video game as like blind fanboyism. There are things I like about video games. There are things I hate about video games. All video games get that same scrutiny from me. I'm not a picky, choosy gamer in terms of coming up with some bullshit reasoning as to why one game is better than another. If I don't like it, I'm going to tell you why I don't like it, and then I'm going to tell you all of the things that are just objectively bad about its design. Regardless of if you don't think that's bad design, it's bad design practice. It's not good design practice to intentionally program enemies with bullshit mechanics just to make the game harder. Ergo, Dark Souls 3 giving certain enemies infinite poise when you no longer have access to the same type of shit that they have. Like the Black Knights in DS3, who in DS1 were really hard to stun because they had a lot of poise. If you put on their armor on your character, you would have had a lot of poise and been hard to stagger. In DS3, we don't give no fucks about your poise because PvP exists, and we're gonna balance the entire fucking shitty experience around the fact guys made PvP videos. But that's good design. Everybody just goes whenever it comes to fucking Dark Souls and talking about it. And it drives me up the fucking wall. The amount of people who just blindly say that certain things about the game are good when they are objectively bad when you compare them to other games, even before it. Lost Izalith is bad. The boss is bad, the layout and the way you progress is bad, all the shitty, stupid item you have to get trying to fall off the thing that you always, almost every single time slide off of, is bad. The Great Hollow and having these fall traps where you have to go down it and learn every crystal lizard position and constantly save and quit your game to reset them is bad. The idea of the Great Hollow is awesome. The implementation, bad. It's just like when people say Dark Souls 3 is like a revolutionary story game. No. Its narrative is bad. Its plot sucks. It never answers any of its questions it establishes, and then it just ends by going, fuck you, time is convoluted, nothing matters, it was all an illusion, suck a dick, goodbye. And that's the entire ending of DS3. You can try and sugarcoat it and make it seem like it's got all this depth to it, but you can't introduce a random-ass character for like 90% of the way through a story that dictates the end of the story. You can't do that. This is why people got fucking furious with dumb Game of Thrones shit after season 4. Because they started to do that same exact shit. But people don't put that same scrutiny into other sources of media or gaming. So they have these outlandish, unrealistic fucking opinions on stuff that is just terrible. It's just bad. I don't give a fuck what someone says. You can argue all day that the boss fights in Dark Souls 3 are amazing and hard and are visually impressive. But you can't tell me with even like a sheer amount of seriousness that the actual story is well designed. It's dog shit. The characters have decent little micro stories, and if you're a person that loves micro stories with characters, then yeah. But there is about as much lore in a Dark Souls character as there is in a Twisted Metal character. And I'm just being real with you. And I have to say that because a lot of people seem to just forget the bullshit. They only remember all the good parts that people talk about. They don't remember what the actual rules are that are established within that game world. Dark Souls 1, it's established that if you are hollow and you are undead, you revive no matter what. And the only time you die is when you go fully hollow. Why the fuck does Siegmeyer die? Just about every single person I've asked in videos and comment sections who can try and explain to me why he is dead compared to everyone else is always a bullshit answer. There's never a good one. I know I rant about this on like a almost weekly basis, but hopefully eventually more people will start saying this and get that type of mentality out there. Because there's too many people in the fucking Dark Souls hive mind that just will act like they're god games when most of them are unfinished. Bloodborne is the best Souls game. I don't give a fuck about Sekiro. If you say Sekiro is better than Bloodborne, you don't enjoy RPG in video games. Because Bloodborne was already a reduction of the RPG, but at least the few RPG elements it did have in it, it got somewhat correct. And did them in not necessarily a bad manner, but it took time for the community to grow to like it, like Chalice Dungeons. And even then, a good portion of the community still doesn't do Chalice Dungeons. But it's like I talked about when I played that game. No one judges those games properly. Very few people judge those games properly out of fear of being fucking attacked ruthlessly by Souls fans. And again, people hear me talk about them and they tend to think that I think the games are bad. I don't. I just view them from a realistic perspective. They're good games in their own right. I never felt that they were good enough games to be the definition of a genre. It's not like Rogue to The Binding of Isaac, where The Binding of Isaac is a rogue-like. Rogue came up with the core concept of that style of gameplay. Dark Souls did not come up with the core concept for a third-person action game. I am fucking sorry, but that is true. I don't give a fuck about all these bandwagon jumpers that jumped on the third-person action game bandwagon because they watched some guy on Twitch. I know I use that example all the time, but that really is the only reason why Dark Souls blew up. And the same thing goes for a lot of those games back then. You can't say that something is objectively alike of one another because it takes a gameplay mechanic or takes a similar function out of another video game and puts it in theirs, or makes their game function similarly to the base one. And what I mean by that is just the controls. Because really, like I tell people all the time, Dark Souls did not invent the style of combat that it has. The fan base just acts like it did. Alright, sorry, I'm back. Had to use the bathroom. Sorry.
All right, let's get the hell out of here.
Brace yourselves. This baby's sporting an implosion drive. That means you gotta be real careful with it. A single miscalculation could end this adventure real quick.
Boring. I got this. Onward to Promethea.
Claptrap, wait! Claptrap, what did you do?
I think we lost gravity.
What in the hell? We got a hull breach. Pressure's falling. That's weird. I'm not showing that hull breach anymore.
That's because the only thing standing between this ship and space is my ass. My ass saved all your asses.
One sec, y'all. I'll reboot the grav generator.
My kind of flying. That's over. Hey, damn it. Drive's busted. Nav and propulsion, too. Until we get our systems online, we're dead in the sky. Ellie, how long's that gonna take?
Keep your skinny pants on, Lil. I'm working on it.
Do what you can. Fast. Vault Hunter, go check on the rest of the crew. See if anyone needs help. Claptrap, keep your ass in that hole.
You can count on me.
Is there anyone there? Hello? Follow the clinical sound of my voice.
Where you at, Tannis?
Don't worry about me. I'm all right. Just staying warm. The thermal control system malfunctioned during the hull breach. You'll need to reboot it. Such curious internal organs. A double lacerating jaw. Fascinating. It smells like my first day of school in here. Well, I suppose this is... Just a moment. Almost there.
Anyone out there? Let us out! We're trapped! That maniac locked us in here!
My bladder is gonna explode!
Those doors should be working fine. Someone locked those poor bastards in before takeoff. Get them out of there, BH.
We're safe!
did you imprison our crew?
You mean the intergalactic intern/slaves? Of course. I locked them all in a small room to ensure their unwavering loyalty. It's Management 101.
I'm gonna say this once. No slaves.
No slaves for a week. Got it. Recruit, since I can't use my prison cells anymore, I guess you can use one as your personal bunk. Enjoy, Recruit. Maybe I'll come by and admire/judge your room's feng shui later.
Thanks, but my firing range is still on fire. I appreciate the help, Montana.
I don't expect a fire sale.
Nice going, Ball Hunter. I found the problem. Blown entropy accelerator. I got a spare one in the cargo bay. Come help me out, will you? Blown entropy accelerator ain't no thing. Got loads of spare parts in the cargo bay. And some special gear I was saving for. Oh, hell. We gotta cut our losses and vent the cargo bay. Well, there goes the grapple grabber, the jetpack, and all the left-handed guns. Guess it wasn't meant to be. But if Earl didn't get sucked out into the icy ball space, he should have a spare entropy accelerator. Earl, wake the hell up! Our ship's dead in the water and we need your help!
What you want?
An entropy accelerator.
I'm busy. Now scram.
Just hand over the entropy accelerator, Earl.
I don't see your name on the door, whatever your name is.
Hand over that part or I'm gonna twist you into a pretzel and fondue your ass.
Fair enough. I'd give it to you if you had something worth my while, but you don't. So get lost, freeloader.
Earl, it's been a day, amigo. Don't test me.
You ain't got the guap. Go down.
Earl, you... Vault Hunter, he's locked in there tight. Maybe if you had some more iridium, he'd be willing to trade. Go talk to my mom at the bar. She keeps all kinds of currency around just in case.
Don't shoot! I mean, hey.
The name's Moxie. What's yours, sugar?
Moze. And you look like trouble.
Guilty as charged.
Quit thirsting up our new Vault Hunter, Ma. We're in the crap. We need some iridium to fix the ship.
Have you tried my slots? Maybe you'll get lucky.
You'll be back.
Well, would you look at that? You've got the magic touch. Come back anytime, sugar.
I've got a few other games we could play.
All right, VH, go give that turd Blossom Earl what he wants.
Buy something! Get lost. What? Nothing strike your fancy? Well, I'm tired of looking at you. Scram! You can have the damn who's what's it. Come back, never.
Well, that was a bitch and a half. Now go install that new entropy accelerator. We gotta get a move on.
Ain't got the money for that.
Finally!
Oh yeah, she's purring like a skag with a belly full of bandits. We're back online, Lil. Head to the bridge, VH. Let's get out of here.
Hey, Lil, you're back on the grid. Thought you might have just, while you were gone, Troy whipped up a propaganda vid for our followers. Galaxy premiere. Check it out. You're a star. Looking good, my hog. Better hurry up and get to Promethea. See you later. Have a good war.
Say what you will about those guys, but their production value is through the roof!
Ignore them. We've got work to do. Vault Hunter, let's get out of here. For real this time. Take us to Promethea.
Here we go.
Here we go.
What's happening? I can't see! I can't see!
Come on.
My ass! It's full of stars!
Well, we arrived in one piece. First. What the hell? That's a Malawan fleet.
I thought this was an Atlas planet. Something ain't right, Lil.
Looks like we aren't the only ones with their eye on Promethea. Vault Hunter, over here.
Hey, sugar. I've got a little proposition for you, if you're feeling lucky. I found a prize worth winning. I'm talking loot, but not just any loot. Handsome Jack's Casino.
finish our wedding, you will need to take Sanctuary to the frozen rim world of Xylogos. Lovely place.
Listen, about what happened on Pandora. Can't let anything slow us down. You're gonna have to pick up the slack for me. Can I count on you?
On it.
Good. Now let's make contact with Atlas. If anyone knows where the vault is, it's them. I'm not picking up any signals from Atlas. Malawon must be jamming their comms.
Wait, here's something. Alice, come on, come in! We're being overrun! Send reinforcements!
Sounded like an Atlas distress call. They need help down there. Getting Atlas on our side would be a good start to finding the vault here. If we can back them up, maybe they'll help us. Or at least not kill us while we search. That distress call was coming from the city outskirts. We need to get you down to the surface, but we don't have access to the Promethean fast travel network.
Way ahead of you, Lil. Vault Hunter, come down to the cargo bay and let's shake it. Right, so, I rigged up our drop pod with a fast travel unit. Once you're planet side, it'll hook up with local network and you can come right back up. Now, it won't be what you call comfortable or trustworthy or safe by any measure. I'm just listing things, ain't no bud at the end of that. Except these two hands you've been checking out. I saw you. Anyway, get in and I'll launch you. Hey, listen, I know Lil's putting on a good face, but she's hurt.
Like a rough ride. You still with us, killer?
I think I threw up my entire skeleton.
As long as you're alive. Looks like Ellie got you within the city limits. Go find whoever made that distress call.
Life. can't break me. Smashy, smashy.
Hey, a superfan! You finally made it! We've been here for ages. Oh, thanks Lilith for the cool powers. This Firehawk thing rules. Oh, have fun. Bye.
All in for me! Tell me about the sky!
Smacked it down!
Get on, you psycho!
Not this time!
Pissed off!
Probably had that coming! Ow! Still gonna kill you!
Is that all? Come at me!
Honest family! The Salt Fens are winning!
Time to open you up. Bloody hell, that got a bit mucky. I thought we were sorted back there. Hey, you! Over here! Slag me! You've got some good timing. These bandits somehow got their hands on some wicked...
Malawan guns. Oh, right, I'm Lorelei. Did Reese send you?
I don't know, Reese.
My boss, CEO of Atlas. We're at war with Malawan. Not from around here, are you?
One sec, there's something in my
Now all
eye.
these maniacs show up all over the city screaming about some vault.
Thank the Calypsos for that. I'm here to reach the vault before they do.
The Calypsos? Those yammering EchoNet arseholes with the cult? Well, I got no slagging clue about vaults, but Reese would know. Come on, I gotta tell him about our new bandit problem anyway. I'll introduce you.
One good
good to go here. Place is compromised anyway. Let me know when you're ready. Grab some wheels. We need to drive through the spillway, and there's always trouble.
Malawan pushed most of the Atlas forces back to HQ, but I've got a small team working behind enemy lines. I have to make sure they haven't been overrun with all these bandits running around. Where the hell did these bandits get hover wheels? That's Malawan tech. Let's take one out, see if we can find where they're getting this stuff.
Anybody counting? Try to keep up.
Hold on a minute, will ya? Ha! Try again! You'll fire closer. Weak.
Okay, one more time, and I'm gonna say it slowly. Don't kill the Malawan guys.
Kill the Malawan guys! Or you! Or my queen! Or my...
No. Okay, this energy, I love it, but we made a deal with Malawan, and now we're not going to kill them. So, what are we going to do when we see a Malawan guy?
Kill the Malawan guys! For Tyrene! For the twin gods!
Yeah, okay, gotta start this one over.
No!
Slag me! The bandits are working with Malawan! Bloody fantastic! This is our stop. On foot from here.
My people are inside. Let me do the talking. Oi, Skyman! Open up!
Password?
Passwords, open the bloody door before I shove a coffee grinder up your ass.
It's definitely her, guys. Welcome back, sir.
Report. How's it looking?
Lots of movement. Bandits and Malawan patrols working together. We moved the civs into the tunnels just in case. And we've tried contacting Reese, but Malawan's jamming our comms.
Bollocks. Stay sharp, Skyman. Come on, Vault Hunter, this way. There's an Atlas base nearby with a direct line back to Reese and HQ. Malawan captured it a few months ago. I haven't had the manpower to take it back, but now that you're here, maybe we can finally send those bastards packing.
Hello!
See these civilians? Malawan doesn't care if they're caught in the crossfire. They're here to take over Atlas and sell Reese's new weapons as their own. To them, this war is just a merger. Let me know when you're ready to take back that Atlas base.
Hey, I'm as surprised as anyone that I'm any good at this.
Oh, wow. Hi.
Oh, Vault Hunter.
You ready to move out? The base isn't far, but...
What was that?
I believe in you!
Blast at these suckers!
Malawan! They found us! Run! Oh, bollocks! Malawan's in the tunnels! Take him out!
You read the terms and conditions!
Malawan's never come down here before. If they think we're easy targets now that they've got Bandit back up, oh, they're about to learn differently.
Come on!
Please don't shoot. I always find them.
Coming your way! Customer's always right, bitch. Come on, we're heading to Watershed Base. It's through here. Malawan's bloody well entrenched, so get ready for a fight. We're close. Get ready. These guys aren't bandits. Malawan's a well-equipped corporate army. We're gonna hit them hard and make it hurt. What to, Tommy girl? Pyrotechs! Look out! Get wasted, you wankers! That was brilliant, Vault Hunter. All right, let's get that channel open to Atlas HQ. Re-establishing connection, come on. Whew, all right, connection to Atlas headquarters is still intact. When you're ready, Vault Hunter.
Hi, you've reached Reese Strongfork, CEO and wartime general of Atlas Corporation. Just a quick question. Who the hell is this and how did you get on my secure line?
Reese, relax, it's Lorelei. We've taken back Watershed Base with a little help. I've got... Hang about. What is that thing on your face?
Oh, this? This is my siege mustache. The troops love it. Anyway, who's your friend?
I'm a Vault Hunter. I'm on a mission for the Crimson Raiders.
Vault Hunter? Crimson? Oh, holy crap, yes! Oh, how many troops did you bring? 20,000? 50,000?
Got me, got my mech. We'll be fine.
What? Oh, come on! I can't take back this city with a single-digit army!
They're good, Reese. Really good. And we need all the help we can get. Bandits are pouring into the city, and they're working with Malawan. Looks like Katagawa's made a deal with the Calypsos.
Perfect. Everybody's just piling on. Well, new friend, you showed up at the right time. My top agent is gearing up to strike at Malawan's strategic gigamont. If they are after the vault, that's where the intel will be. Go meet up with my agent. Reese, out.
Right. While you go meet Reese's agent, I'm gonna get this base back online and start securing more of the city. Oh, before you head off, I've got something for you. Since you're heading downtown, I'm hooking you up with a cyclone. It's fast and light, perfect for getting about the city streets. Take it for a spin. Mission for you, if you're up to it. What do you say we start civilizing this war-torn city again? Let's start with the most
Ragged, and when a commander makes mistakes, people die. And I'm sure my troops could use a pick-me-up as well. Head to the Rise and Grind coffee shop to get started. Reese's agent is a bit of a loner, but he's got quite the knack for putting people's inside. On their outsides. I'm sure you two will hit it off just grand.
Good. If you didn't know, I host an interplanetary battle royale called the Underdome. But I'm not the only one. There's a celebrity bandit named who's hosting a live streamed fight to the death in Prometheus his show. I'll meet you down on the planet. Full disclosure, we used to date. After I left, he joined the Children of the Vault. A cult of mindless followers must have been a magnet for an insecure nothing like Kilovolt.
We gave Malawan an unlimited supply of screaming war meat, aka our followers. And they gave us a bunch of crazy high-tech guns.
And once they take the planet, they get Atlas and we got the Vault, so you're left playing with... whatever you got down there. You just keep doing you. Ah!
Looks like Reese's agent is in the Mercantile Plaza. Malawan's got a weapons depot set up inside the mall, and I'll bet bollocks to bullets that's what he's after.
ninja few words. I like him.
That's Zero. He used to be a Crimson Raider like you. Wondered where he'd ended up. He's always been a little cryptic, but he's as deadly as they come.
Haywire service bots. Their masters have long since fled.
Identified. Cryo. And another part died. Terminate you. Identified. Cryo.
Get over here, dickweed!
All bots demolished. Lower that shield so we can loot some sweet weapons.
The force field's down? Brilliant! That weapons depot should be easy pickings now.
Are those Atlas dropships?
Negative. We made them angry. Prepare for counterattack. Malawan dickheads. Bad guys.
Better luck next life.
Their assault has failed. A predictable outcome with our combined skills.
So, what's our target?
New Malawan tech. My sword requires an upgrade. Search through this depot. That's the sword upgrade. I need it for our mission. I'll trade you for it.
What's wrong? Atlas not cutting it anymore? My offer still stands. It's not too late to come work for Malawan. And you must be the Vault Hunter Tyreen warned me about. You know what? I don't even have time. I'll let my superior forces do the talking.
That's Katagawa, head of Malawan mergers and acquisitions. That guy is a douche, and he's way obsessed with Reese. It's kind of creepy. With this new upgrade, I can cut Malawan shields. Stand back and watch this.
What's a Gigamind and how do I kill it?
Malawan AI. All their secrets in one place. A juicy target.
So we gank Gigamind, we get access to their entire strategic database?
Precisely the plan. Meet at Halcyon Spaceport. Now the hunt is on.
a brain. Cool.
Return to the base and send that data to Reese. I have more to kill. Oh, and Vault Hunter, you are worthy of that name. Good hunting with you.
Wow! You really just popped the brains right out of my Gigamind. Not satisfied with running underfoot, huh? I get it. My father once said I was 12th in line to run the company, so I made 11 quick little cuts to the family tree. Now I'm next in line. Think about that. Now you've put yourself in my way.
Yeah, Rise and Grind's deserted, but there should be a barista bot you can call up. They're, really annoying, but the coffee's worth it.
Welcome back, Vault Hunter. Why do you smell like brains and fried circuitry? You know what? I don't want to know. Call Reese, let him know you got the job done. Go on, ring the bell.
Figures the day I get to hang with the Vault Hunter is the day I leave my autograph book in the barracks.
Ding-a-ling, ring the bell, need the coffee.
Seems like this war's gone on forever. Wait, which war are we in right now? I'm awake!
Ring the bell and get a barista bot out here.
Good to see you. Malawan sucks!
Hey, Vault Hunter! Did you get the data from Gigamind? Give it.
And then you'll help us get to the vault, right?
Oh, yeah, that. It's just I'm super busy with this whole invasion thing. Any other time, it is Vault o'clock, baby, but I've got my company to look out for.
I mean, I can just toss this brain in the trash if no one's gonna use it.
Wait, oh, okay, fine. I rebuilt Atlas from almost nothing, and I will do anything to keep Malawan from taking that away. I swear on this company's future that I will help you find and open the vault.
Ding-a-ling, ring the bell, need the coffee.
That's as good a promise as any, killer. Give the man what he needs.
Go on, ring the bell. Ring the bell and get a barista bot out here. Go on, ring the bell. Ding-a-ling, ring the bell, need the coffee.
Just thinking about getting back to it.
Just ring the bell, Vault Hunter. Go on, ring the bell. Ding-a-ling, ring the bell, need the coffee. I have never seen Reese. Something, Vault Hunter.
Standing right here. Hologram can still hear you. And Hollow Reese has feelings. Oh man! This guy has everything up in there. Troop movements, supply lines, scouting data. Looks like Malawan's been searching for fragments of the Vault Key themselves, and they've got some leads. A planet called Venus?
Venus? Perfect. Vault Hunter, come up to Sanctuary.
Great work. You do that. Reese, out.
Okay, so you saw a corporation that was getting curb stomped by a way bigger and cooler corporation, and you said, I'm going with Team Loser Stash? Come on, work with me here, superfan. This whole beef over the vaults has been getting mondo views, but it's got a shelf life. Specifically, when you die, so try to keep it going, maybe find some better allies? Just a suggestion. Later!
Just ring the bell, Vault Hunter.
Ding-a-ling, ring the bell, need the coffee. Ring the bell and get a barista bot out here. Vault Hunter, there's this Quinn bloke, scientist, owes us some
fancy nerd tech, but we haven't heard from him in a while. Go make sure he's not dead, alright? And either way, try to get me the Digistruct plans for this nog hacking thing he's been working on. It would really help us out if we could turn those little
God damn it, my mic was muted. What the fuck?
Go on, ring the bell.
I forgot to unmute my fucking mic earlier. Sorry, random guy. Oh yeah, that's right. I muted my mic because I had to wash one of my eyes out.
Atlas is getting crushed. Help Reese when we can. Right now, we've got to get to Athena's. I've got a friend there. Should see what she knows. Claptrap, type broadcast to Athena's. Call sign Sapphire.
And comms open!
Lilith, what are you... Oh, shit!
Bad time?
Yeah, kinda. I'm guessing you're calling for the same reason Malawan's trashing our monastery? Well, I don't have it, but I know where it is. Hey, get here sooner, you'll miss all the fun. And by fun, I mean getting bulldozed by corporate murder squads.
She can hold her own until we get there. She's a siren, badass as they come. Hell, maybe we can convince her to join us.
It would be helpful to have another siren on board. Besides you, Lilith. I was still counting you.
Oh, more ladies on Admiral Claptrap's bug ship. Everyone's looking at Claptrap. Booyah!
Set a course for Athena's, Lol.
I heard you want us some allies while on Promethea. Some people are like that, attracting friends and allies and well-wishers wherever they go. But I am not one of those types, and never will be.
Have you had a chance to check out my mixtape yet?
Shut up so I can accept the mission.
It would appear that the idiotic primate inhabitants of this vessel have been stealing my syringes
And using them for who knows what. I'm running low and I need them back. Malawan again. These guys are relentless.
Drop pods ready when you are, VH. Hey, Vault Hunter. A bandit cult led by a soul-sucking siren.
a fight. I'm Maya. Come find me in the market quarter. A battalion of Malawan troops are trampling my home, and I'd appreciate some help. You know, killing them. It'll be nice to have someone else here besides my apprentice who hasn't taken an oath of non-violence. Speaking of which... Whew. See you soon.
So you're kicking ass with the Raiders.
Guess Lilith had to replace me eventually. Ready for some more action?
Malawan's full of teched out nerds. Let's kick him in the dick.
Thought so. Follow me. We'll meet up with my apprentice. If she hasn't gotten herself killed. The fragment's sealed inside an Iridian anchor hole. The whole monastery was built around it by monks who think it's sacred. Maybe it is, but right now it's attracting the wrong kind of attention. I came back from Pandora to protect this place. That was working out pretty good until Malawan found us.
My finger's getting tired. Oh my god, that's right. It's fucking Borderlands.
Attention, stupid pacifist monks! This is Oppressor Trant. It's not just a title, oppression is my profession. Athenas is now property of the Malawan Corporation. No trespassing.
Ugh, that's Trant. Real pain in my ass. So far, he hasn't been able to get into the anchor hold, but let's not rely on his incompetence.
Now, look, monks, I know you think I'm doing this because I enjoy terrorizing you, but it's actually to make my big brother proud of me. He's a general, you see, and I got a huge inferiority complex about it. So if I have to burn down your entire monastery to impress him, then so be it, you know? You get it, right? You get it.
Secure the square. Once it's safe, we'll ring the bell of peace so the monks can let us through.
Coast's clear. When we're not at war, the bells of peace ring all hours of the day and night. Kind of a nightmare, honestly.
Naya, where's the little one?
Probably finding trouble.
Finding trouble, or causing it. May the six storms protect you.
Oh, he's right. I should check on my apprentice. Ava, are you still guarding the library?
Maya! Hey! Yes, I am definitely at the library. Because you told me to stay there. Here! Because it's where I still am.
Can I skip the dialogue?
That was a book! Gotta go by!
Like, there's cutscene skip, but what about dialogue skip? Specifically just for Ava. The skip Ava dialogue mod.
Attention, monks of Athenas! Captain Trant! Surrender the vault key fragment immediately. We're gonna downsize your stupidly serene planet. That means we're gonna blow it up. God, I love this company. Form and function.
If you'd been around when the invasion started, we just might have held our own. Now ring the bell. I'm gonna need some iridium to get into the anchor hold. It'll amp up my siren powers. On an extremely related note, how do you feel about grave robbing? I've done worse. Almost, like, seriously.
Good. There's some iridium hidden in the cemetery. Something tells me Ava's already there. She'll help you out. I've never actually been inside the anchor hold. It's got iridium protections around it, but I think I can get around them. There's a passage in my book of ancient siren techniques. I'm gonna go grab it, since the library is unprotected, and I'll catch up with you later.
Freaking multi-kill! Yeah! Get good or get dead, scrub.
By fire be purged.
But wait, you're a vault hunter like mine
By
used to be.
fire be purged.
Kill bad guys.
Yeah, I get to kill bad guys pretty much all the time. It's
Yes! That's so freaking cool. I want to die instantly. I'm gonna be a vault hunter too. Or I would be if not inside. Dustin, been staring at the water for 100 hours. Sorry, just really boring around here. So, you're gonna loot this graveyard or what?
Headshot, headshot, headshot.
Nothing, bitch. You got nothing.
Oh, crap!
Attention, everyone! This is Captain Trudge! Bugs are in that spooky graveyard. Wipe them out, make me proud. Then we'll go over this awesome! Go, Dump Truck!
Been looking forward to this.
I wish they weren't Star Wars Battlefronting you, Ava. I wish they would just fucking aim for the head and just one shot, one kill, Tom Berenger.
Maya says the monks put iridium in too.
But it's Borderlands, so even if you got a headshot, it would be health gated.
We'll pay him back. Like, if we're not all together. Huh, empty. But I know a few more places we can try. Just die already!
Captain Trot here! Again! Why are you statue polishers fighting back? Anyway, I thought you were supposed to be all zen and shit. Stop this rebellion immediately, or I'll reduce your tranquil meditation plan
I got this one.
I hate the way that her default arm position is her arms crossed.
Oh, monks are so weird.
Just because half of the time her animations don't link up correctly because it always like defaults her to that pose.
You're done.
Fighting off Malachi, but screw that! That Trump guy is the worst, and I want to kick his dick off myself!
Ava, go protect the grain storerooms.
I should take her hood off for combat.
Got it, Maya. On my way.
She has earphones on as well. I never even noticed that about her character until just barely, because I don't even pay attention to her.
Ava really took a shine to you. Might want to check your pockets. She was a stowaway on one of our seasonal merchant ships. We crossed paths. She tried to steal my book, and instead of throwing her off a cliff, I decided to train her as my apprentice. I've got my book and heading your way in a sec. I'm just finishing up some... Die, you corporate bastards! Ancient relaxation exercises. Much better.
Trant. Good riddance.
Oh, was his name Trant? You got the iridium? Give it here. I've never been able to use iridium the way Lilith does, but I found a technique in this book that might change that. Okay, here goes something. It's working.
Holy crap. I feel like I could phase lock a planet right now.
Teach me that right now.
I could get used to that kind of power. Okay, let's get the key fragment, Vault Hunter. So, Ava,
You survived the invasion. Guess all those hours staring at water taught you something after all.
I can handle myself. I learned to fight way before I met you.
let's spar then, kid.
Oh, you know I would, but I've got a loot to sort through.
Nope. Go pack a bag. You get your wish. We're leaving with the Vault Hunter.
Wait, for real? I mean, yeah, cool, whatever. It's gonna be fun. I'll grab the stuff.
Vault Hunter, check this out.
The Iridians left messages like these all over the galaxy. I always figured there was a connection between sirens and vaults. I can't read it, but it must mean something.
Take your time.
This relic's been here since before I was born. But as long as Malawan knows it's here, Athenas will never be safe. I should tell you this before I explain it to Lilith. The real reason I took Ava on as an apprentice, she's going to be a siren someday. And I want to make sure she's ready when that happens.
See you up in the stars, Vault Hunter.
Fragment. Bring it to me. I shall keep it safe while you gallivant around in search of the other pieces.
$1 for a dance, $1 for a dance.
A new vault key fragment. Holding this makes my skin tingle. That and I ate one of Marcus's discounted burritos. In case you're wondering, this isn't a complete vault key. Why the Iridians split the keys into fragments is anyone can guess, but the vault key on Pandora required 3 pieces. Still, it's a start. You should return to Lilith. I'm sure she and Maya have a lot of catching up to do for whatever it is people with social lives do. No, thank you. Give me a sterile room full of surgical equipment any day.
I need to stay busy or my mind wanders. No one wants that, believe me. I heard you want us some allies while on Promethea. Some people are like that, attracting friends and allies and well-wishers wherever they go. But I am not one of those types, and never will be.
I can't explain it right now, Lilith, but she's going to be a siren someday.
We'll talk about this later. What's up, killer? Maya says you kicked some major ass. Takes an ass kicker to know an ass kicker.
I believe it. Well, one fragment down, 2 more to go.
So what is this all about, Lilith? Why is Malawan on Athenas? Our key fragment has been a secret for generations. How did they find out about it now?
I'm not sure. Calypso seemed to know more about the vaults than any of us, even Tanis. They knew about the vault map. They told Malawan to invade Athenas. They say they're after something called the Great Vault. The vault on Promethea must be part of their plan. We have to get there first. We will, Firehawk. I'm not sure anyone calls me that anymore.
Lilith, long time. So, how are things?
Wow, nice mustache.
Thanks. It's Siege mustache. Listen, I'm gonna have to cash in on that Allies card. Katagawa's got an asteroid-mounted laser aimed at Atlas HQ, and he's threatening to slice me in half unless I surrender. I'm freaking out here. Freaking out. And Zero reports the laser's being powered by a vault key fragment. So
All I needed to hear. We're on it.
Now we're talking. Yay, allies! Reese, out.
I was so excited to get out of that monastery that I forgot to pack some...
Really, it had to play her dialogue. I didn't want to hear it. That's why I accepted it in the middle of doing that. God damn you, game.
really important stuff. You gotta get it back for me.
I hope Reese knows what he's doing. Lilith says he's one of us, but...
Why is the heater not coming on? I'm like fucking...
It's false o'clock,
I already had like cold shakes and stuff. And now it's just so cold in here it makes it even worse. And I wanted to... I want to play longer, but since I can't lay in bed and play this game at the same time because of how far my room is away from where I play my games.
Take out that laser before Katagawa knows what hit him.
Because I play my games out in like the normal, out in basically, I guess we would call it the lobby area of the place that I live in. It's like literally the front doors like right there and stuff like that. And I do that so that when I'm playing, if someone comes by, I can immediately mute my stuff or whatever. More for the summer than in the winter, because in the summer I'll have windows open and shit like that, and I hate it when people go outside and randomly start yelling or yell when they're walking by. Also, yeah, sorry that my fucking chat is broken currently. I don't know why it is. It's been broken for like the past fucking 3 or 4 days. Ever since I turned my text to voice off because that guy came. I turned it back on and now my fucking chat doesn't even work anymore. It only works on my computer when I actually have it loaded up. It doesn't work on the PS4. It just shows 0 all the time. It doesn't show people watching and it doesn't show the comments they left. At least for the past 2 ones. It only showed like the first message and then it didn't work. So I have no clue. But I'll be back anyways. Sorry I didn't stream for as long as I normally do, but again, I haven't been feeling that great recently. Luckily, it's not COVID. Just like common spring flu type stuff, but I've had the flu many a times before, and it's weird because I get the flu despite the fact that I have flu shots. So, regardless of what people say about the flu vaccine 100% working all the time, for some people, I guess it just doesn't, because for me, it never has worked all the time. And it's not even like I'm saying I have the flu because I haven't been checked. Like 3 or 4 days ago before I started streaming again, that was one of the things that I did, was I went out to one of those places because I had this like really tight chest and I was coughing up phlegm like crazy. And it was basically like the early stages of what would be pneumonia from that type of infection. But there's obviously, like anyone could tell you, there's medicine for shit like that. The people who die to actual flu are the people who refuse to get flu shots and other things like that. Because, I mean, it does help with just general resistance to it. It makes it so that the effects of it on your body are lessened. That's why whenever there's a new influenza outbreak, people always get worried because, in all honesty, as much as people talk about COVID-19, and I know I'm going on a little rant here even though I was going to shut my stream off, but one of the biggest misunderstandings of COVID-19 is that you could be a perfectly healthy person and your body could go into a state that's called a cytokine storm. And a cytokine storm is basically when your body's immune system, the antibodies, react in a very harsh manner. Normally, when you get sick or you have something wrong with you, your immune system will target a specific area and kind of just, to put it bluntly, gunshot that specific area. Whereas when your body is undergoing a cytokine storm, it's as if someone is taking a Gatling gun and just going throughout your entire body. And it starts shutting down your organs and all this other kind of shit. That's why people who are healthy don't necessarily mean that they won't get problems with COVID. The only surefire 100% thing that makes you protected against COVID is having previous coronavirus experiences with similar mutations of that coronavirus. Obviously not COVID-19, but people who had SARS, MERS, and more complex coronaviruses earlier. Because, I mean, coronavirus itself, the blanket statement of coronavirus, not COVID-19 specifically, just coronaviruses in general are I think they're like the second or third most common virus on the planet, and even prior to the COVID-19 outbreak, there were hundreds of thousands of cases of it a year in varying different parts with different types of things. But again, most of those older ones we have medications for. Whereas this new one, we don't really have medications that work with it because the way that it attaches itself to our cells makes it so that normal antiviral medication does not work. Because normal antiviral medication targets a specific I can't remember what it's called, even though I was just looking it up the other day. It's basically like there's a specific thing in most viruses that you can target with antiviral medicine. COVID-19 does not have that thing in it that makes other viruses get killed by it. So normal antiviral medicine doesn't work on it. In fact, the only thing we found so far, if you want to know at least what the media has revealed, of course, there's always some underlying hidden bullshit with the government and pharmaceutical industry. Regardless of if you're a conspiracy theorist or not, this is just how a modern planet with a society that half of the people are gullible and brainwashable. You have to understand that from the higher up perspective of people who work for these companies or who work in the government or who work in the health industry, they can't just be like, oh, we found a cure for cancer. They can't do that. As much as you'd love for that to be the reality, they can't do that, not because it's not possible to make a quote-unquote cure, because cure is a bullshit statement. Anything is more of a treatment. A cure implies it gets rid of it. A cure implies that you could never get it again as well. Like, it is you could give it to anything and it just magically goes away sort of thing, but that's not how treating cancer works, even with approved chemicals back in the day that do treat cancer that they don't use nowadays, like DCA. I've mentioned this a couple times in my past streams over the couple weeks, where you have to know that the government does not care if something is or isn't effective. The thing that the pharmaceutical industries care about is how much money they can make from it. Because medical industries nowadays are pushed to the absolute limits of functionality due to the fact that a lot of the machines within a hospital can't even be serviced by people within the hospital. And this is why, if you've ever been in a hospital or a doctor's office, any electrical equipment you'll see inside of that building, whether it be a fucking IV machine or the, like, heads up, the display for whatever your vital signs are and stuff like that, all of that stuff will have a big ass sticker on it that says what facility did a battery check or did, like, a check on this place. And that's with every hospital across America. There is no single hospital in America which does self-servicing stuff unless that hospital has a specific branch of it which is only dedicated to tech, which you wouldn't call a hospital. It would be called something different. It would just be called a wing of that building. It wouldn't be called a part of the hospital. And that's just how that shit works. And again, that's not me trying to be like all conspiracy weirdo or anything like that. That's just me trying to tell how it actually is. Because there isn't enough people out there saying how it actually is. And a lot of people have these false ideas, false opinions, lack of understandings, and really that's all the media's fault. Because the media right now just wants you to panic. The media right now doesn't want you to think that the pharmaceutical industry is purposely sandbagging the coronavirus thing. Consider the fact that the government does not support stem cell research and other vital research categories on this planet. Those places have to be self and privately funded. So if you think without a shred of a doubt that the world is right now trying to get rid of the coronavirus, they're just telling people how to mitigate it. In reality, they could probably have developed a treatment within a couple weeks, because one of the simple truths to our modern era is you can sequence genomes and sequence the DNA of something within less than a week. And I'm saying that not the genome takes a week to sequence, because we have supercomputers that can do that shit like in less than a day. But it's more so that the information that the computer generates is such a large amount of information that it has to be basically boiled down to just if you've ever seen how DNA has like the different letters with the chromosomes and all the different types of things that get swapped around, which give you your unique traits and genetics. In any viral cell, you can take that code and basically go, all right, we're going to make a fake version of this, or we're going to make a dead version of this, or we're going to find something that is almost identical to it in terms of its protein or whatever. And we're going to administer it into your body with the hope that it gives your body the stuff it needs to fight it off when you get it. That's how flu vaccines work. And flu vaccines were engineered in that exact way. And that doesn't mean that coronavirus vaccines could be made with dead coronavirus. But what it does mean is nowadays saying that we cannot make a vaccine in less than a year is just a bullshit ploy by both the pharmaceutical industry telling the government to not say anything about it. And this is also with big pharmaceutical people. All those doctors that everyone's like, oh, this guy's a savant because he's saying real information. It's like, no. He's just being a bullshit artist just like everyone else. The only thing is that he's the bullshit artist that everyone has the side of. Everybody is on his side, but he doesn't... Nobody realizes that the half of the reason why those guys come on and don't say anything positive and only say negative shit is because, again, it's just a fear factor. They only want you to panic. They want you to panic. They want you to be doing a bunch of dumb shit. They don't really care if this problem gets solved that fast. They might act like they do, but it doesn't really matter. Most of those bigger guys are not gonna all of a sudden stop because coronavirus took away their workers. Most of those places aren't going to hemorrhage all of their money within a year, unless your business was tiny. And this is the falsified bullshit that I see all the time, where it's like companies like fucking Walmart and crap like that are not going to suffer. If anything, a lot of the markets have actually gone up because people have been panic buying. You think toilet paper market was as high as it was back fucking 3 months ago? No. You gotta be realistic with how you look at things as a whole. And the problem is, no one does that. They see the 5-minute integer of the guy who's speaking about the coronavirus, and they forget the entire other bubble that it involves with. And again, I get very fucking mad and lose my patience with people who think that they have an idea of how it works, but they just go and repeat garbage information to people that gives them no actual benefits. I'm going to tell you, if there is anybody listening right now, I can tell you with 100% certainty that there will eventually be a vaccine for it. Will it be released within the next 6 months? No. Not because it doesn't exist, not because they couldn't make it, not because they couldn't mass produce it like they keep claiming, because they don't want to. They don't care if hospital staff are committing suicides because they don't want to have to fucking deal with this shit. They don't care. If they gave a fuck, they would already have medicine to counter it. Because if you look at how China handled SARS and how basically we handled MERS back in the day, and I say back in the day, it wasn't that long ago, those kinds of viruses and stuff like that had treatments for them that were developed within like a month. But they were tiny diseases and tiny problems that never really spread that big. No one talks about Ebola anymore because it wasn't that easy to spread. Now you have this easily spreadable disease that everyone treats like a joke because the media blew up the past 5 outbreaks which never affected half of the world. And now you have people who are on the opposite spectrum where they freak the fuck out, They have no idea what the fuck is actually going on, and they've been told to stay home, and they're going crazy because of it. Because they don't have any idea of how fucked up the world actually is, and not because of like some psychosemantic bullshit like some people come up with. The world is fucked up because people who need help will not get it. You're gonna sit in a hospital and they're gonna feed you a bunch of bullshit. You're not gonna get regular medicine. They've only just started testing medicine on people. Only just barely. At the end of March, they started testing medicines on people. And they started running clinical trials on monkeys. When the actual reality is, they probably did that shit a month before they said they did it. Because anything that is said on mass media already happened in terms of research ages ago. But the actual suits, the people in the white suits, have to make sure that what they are going to release to the public is both not going to ensue chaos or ensue panic. That's up to the media to do. The media is the people who take it and twist it. The only thing that the doctors, at least the good ones, try to do is try to tell you how it's going to be. And again, most of them, that's why a lot of them don't talk about there being potential treatments and cures, or I don't want to say cures again, but you know what I mean. They don't talk about it that much. And when they do mention it, they're always like, oh yeah, it'll be like another 6 to 8 months. Like they have that answer fucking ready. Because they get asked it all the time, but not a single one of them can answer it honestly. And that is the fucking sad part. Because the actual medical companies that do these research, this R&D into how a bacteria or a virus or a cancer works, a lot of them, if the thing that they develop works too well, it gets shut down. This has happened so many times since the 50s, it's not even funny. There are medicines out there that can be made that can treat modern conditions within weeks that they don't allow to be sold at like fucking a drugstore or have your doctor recommend them to you. And I wish I was joking, because everyone always thinks that I'm exaggerating or I'm some sort of conspiracy theorist. But this is really just how the medical industry works. It's why they feed most cancer patients chemo when there is confirmed alternative treatments that work better, more effectively, and faster without killing you. But do they use them? No, because they cost pennies on the dollar to create a bottle of it. Because it uses regular, like, household chemicals to make it. And again, you can spend all day looking this shit up. You're going to have to sift through a lot of bullshit, though, because there is so many conspiracy, like, garbage artists out there that just post a bunch of bullshit that is somewhat true, but they take it and then they go on to this extremist crazy level. And they're not, again, they don't view it as a whole picture. They view it as this narrow, tiny little tunnel vision section of it. And it is awful. The way that people now think that the way that people think now about that kind of stuff is part of the reason why the government can get away with doing this shit. And no one even realizes that they're doing it. That's probably the best part, is that they can literally pull the wool over half of the people's eyes and they don't even know what's going on. And I'm not even just talking about with COVID. I'm talking about with anything to do with health. Any small thing to do with health. Diabetes is one of those things. Type 2 diabetes is not that hard to treat. They act like it is, but it's not. And you can go and read several different cases of people who treated their own diabetes within several months. It didn't even take years. It took literally several months to fix the fucking problem. And this is one of those things That is one of those fucking things that just gets me fucking irritated. Unless you got type 1 diabetes, your diabetes is never permanent. Your diabetes is no different than a chemical imbalance in your brain. Once you can bring that chemical balance back to normal, you'll go back to normal just like you were before you had diabetes. There's no, like, you're permanently in type 2 diabetes state. That's what type 1 diabetes is. I think a lot of people are just fucking stupid, and a lot of them just refuse to accept the fact that it's way easier to fix these problems. The problem is the people that don't want to try to do it because they don't think it will work. There's an entire episode of King of the Hill about this, and to the point where the show is probably a more realistic representation of the medical industry than most people probably would ever give it credit for. Because that episode of King of the Hill where Bill gets quote unquote diabetes and the doctor tells him he's going to lose his legs, instead of telling him, oh yeah, you could just be physically active for a couple months and you'll be able to walk fine again and you won't have any blood sugar problems. Instead, the doctor goes into fear-monger mode, like I was saying, and tries to make you get into a panic state so they can give you medication and tell you what the fuck you should be doing, instead of telling you how to fix your problems fast. Now, when that comes to mental or, like, sociological problems, there isn't much people can do. But when it's something that's like a physical ailment or a chemical problem in your body, most of that shit can be fixed very fucking easily. They just don't want to tell you how to do it. They want to make money off of you. Every person is a whale, and if a doctor doesn't keep that whale, they don't make nearly as much money for the actual pharmaceutical industry. Because, I mean, most doctors are paid like salary. Unless it's like a private doctor or whatever. But anyways, excuse me. I'm gonna stop ranting about this, and like I said, I'm gonna go lay down. Have a good one. Hope I gave you a little bit more information.